So I thought I'd try a bit of an experiment, and I'm just going to drop this on YouTube as a simple, really lo-fi, as you can tell from the background, idea of stimulating conversation. So there's a lot to go into with design systems at all levels. So I wanted to start a conversation around getting started. Over time, I've seen so many different ways that design systems can begin, from being organic from a design team wanting to get greater consistency or communicate better or something, from top down to someone in leadership saying, I feel this is the right thing for us to do, can you go and make it? And so there's loads and loads of ways that a design system can start. It could come from design or it could come from engineering, because again, a lot of these problems are shared. So it doesn't really matter which discipline it begins in, but acknowledging the problems and solving them together is really important. So one thing I'm curious about is there's more than one way to get started. But I think one thing for me is there's often that first step that gets missed. Not all the time. So sometimes there's an assumption that because everyone else has a design system, it's bound to be the right thing to do. I'd maybe challenge that a little bit. It might be. But let's go back a little bit further and say, what are the problems that exist today? Is it that there's too much duplication? Is it bad communication? Is there poor collaboration? Is the quality of the output just not good enough? Going back to the problem space means that we acknowledge these are the problems we feel a design system might be able to address. When we think about design systems, we typically would think about speed or efficiency or consistency, and they're fine. But are they your problems? Are they what you feel a design system will bring? And I think that's the interesting point, where it sounds like on the surface we all talk about the same things. We all talk about components and that kind of stuff. But when you get down to the problem and your situation, it will always be slightly different to everyone else's. So what are your problems where you are? That's really important to focus on. When you're making the design system, then you've got this as a guide. Are we making anything better? Better meaning some of these original ideas from the problem space. Have we made things more efficient? Are we working any faster? Are we collaborating better? And often you might get an idea of metrics or some gauge of success to go with that. So the first exercise, the first thought is, what is your problem space? Why do you think you need a design system? Maybe you don't, or maybe it's exactly what you need. But getting clarity on why before launching into the visual audit or anything else is a really interesting space to start with. So maybe comment below and see how you've gone about that. Have you jumped straight in? Did you look at the problem space? What did you find out? And when you've identified the problem, did that help you to think about metrics or way of measuring success?